In a few months, I'll graduate from high school, still a virgin, not even a kiss to show for myself, which wouldn't be such a colossal tragedy if I was ugly or awkward, which I'm definitely not. The offer has come up a whole bunch of times, but never from the right source, which I'd say is probably the most important part. The boys at my school with their wax eyebrows and designer jeans and Persian pride and gold chains around their necks, they're under the impression that just because our parents come from the same country, that I'll automatically want to fuck them. Au contraire, my friends, au contraire. Rana, they say, come ride with me. Come in my car. I have sweet rims and a bomb system. I'll give you a ride home, which is code for, please come suck my dick, and maybe I'll take you to In-N-Out on the way home if you're lucky. And no animal style, because that would just be pushing it. I know this because I know girls who've been stupid enough to agree to it and have been kicked out onto the middle of Ventura Boulevard, sobbing because they pretended they were ignorant of the secret language. These boys try to lure me in, but I must resist such a tempting offer because I'm no skank, and the truth is I like girls. I like everything about them. The way their asses slide from side to side when they walk as if their bodies own that air, the delicacy used for every movement, from sharpening pencils to carefully peeling their used up nail polish off with their teeth, to kicking the ball in the soccer field, to the way they run their hands through their hair constantly as if always on the lookout for lice. Their insecurities turn me on, and if I don't get with one soon, I think I might just have a fucking heart attack and die. I live pretty close to school, so I usually just walk home. Plus, we only have one car, which my mother keeps on reserve, just in case she has to do something important, which is quite infrequent these days. I think it's the old Persian man I used to be in another life who makes me like these strolls, a chance to put my headphones on and listen to Tupac and just let it all go. Kids these days think just because a rapper spits fast, it means he's got skills. People say Tupac's so 97, but anyone who lies like that is obviously just ignorant, and I don't really want to associate with ignorant people. Tupac was a poet, a skilled lyricist with a greater purpose, more style and charisma than any of these fools today. If I liked boys, he would be the one. No one but him. My grandfather always took walks, always talked to the plants and animals along the way. He had conversations with squirrels like they were his friends, which sounds pretty fucking crazy, except I think that's what made him so cool. He died last year. Cancer. It was ugly and tragic. My mother was there, taking care of him day in and day out when no one else was. They wanted to take him to one of those depressing hospices, but my mother refused, had him move in with us instead. My dad moved to Texas a few months after my grandfather died because he couldn't find work here anymore. Every few months my father visits for 2 weeks, and it's during these visits that I think maybe he went for other reasons too, because him and my mother don't talk much, don't hug or kiss the way they used to. And I'm not immature in that way where I think it's disgusting when my parents touch each other sweetly or call each other stupid over-the-top pet names in Persian like Omram, my life. I actually prefer being surrounded by all that love. My mother is lonely these days. I get it. She loved her father, but come on, live your life. That's what he would have wanted. If you knew the man at all, he would have wanted you to embrace the time you have left, to take more walks, breathe deeper, but all this woman does is shop. I mean, how many open-toed sandals with 2-inch heels does one person need? How many polka-dotted blouses? She usually shows me her shopping achievements when I come home from school, like a little kid sharing her pasta-covered art project for the day. And I have to resist the urge to say, you already have that fucking shirt. It's the same fucking shirt as the one from last week. I have this theory, and I could be wrong because I'm only human, but I think the emptier she feels inside, and the longer my dad's away, it's like she has no choice but to fill that fucking closet up. I know it sounds like I'm being tough on her, but it's become harder and harder to watch, especially because it's only her and me in the house these days. She plays the Persian radio too loud when I come home. I know what you're thinking. The radio is good. The radio plays music and is a lively and entertaining machine, but it's not that at all. She's obsessed with this program where the saddest Persians from all over the world call and ask the psychologist questions. I came home a little high from school, and my mother had made a whole pan of French fries. They were thickly sliced and brown all over like how she used to make them when I was little, and I hovered over the stove and ate them slowly, pouring ketchup carefully onto each one, letting the grease soak my fingers up, as some mother wept to the psychologist about how her daughter had just come out to her and how she thought it was just unnatural and dirty. How could such a thing be happening to her daughter? Doctor, it's dirty, the woman said. These things are dirty. The psychologist isn't such a bad guy. He's pretty real with the lunatics who call in, and he told this woman, he said, "Lady, she's your daughter, and nothing will ever change that." My mother was putting on crimson nail polish, and she barely looked at me, only to say, "Ranojun, get a plate, please." Then my mother said something that almost made me lose a fry. "Poor woman," she said. I stood there for what felt like a whole day, like fucking eons, my brain crackling inside me, my stomach begging for more fries. I knew she wasn't head over heels about the concept. I'd heard her talking sometimes about my aunt's gay neighbor in West Hollywood who threw ragers in the middle of the week and how inconsiderate and selfish he was, but we never had a real conversation about it. The words came out from my mouth without much thought. Why? Why is she such a poor woman? She finally looked up at me, and in her face I thought I saw something like malice, dragon-like, but maybe it was just the weed getting to me. "The neighbor's child being gay I can handle, but not my own. Not ever you," she said. After that, I pretty much ate the whole pan of French fries. And let me tell you, it was a big pan, more like a cauldron used for feeding a tribe of people. My mother finally noticed and said I was being disgusting. "You don't know your limits, Rana. You have to know when to stop," she said. "If you don't want me eating them, then don't make them," I said. And I went to my room and slammed the door, and I blasted Tupac and lay down in my bed and dreamt about kissing girls.